Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Janine Chavez, and I am your Activities Director at Cibola High School. It is the request of Cibola High School administration that we honor and recognize each graduate. Most of you are here today to celebrate the accomplishments of one graduate special to you. Kindly be reminded to refrain from excessive cheering and the use of noisemakers so that each graduate's name may be heard and honored by their family and friends. Thank you for attending today's commencement and for sharing in Cibola High School's commemoration of the academic achievement of the graduating class of 2022. At this time, please stand for the Cibola High School class of 2022. Good afternoon. The administration, staff, and students of Cibola High School would like to welcome you to our 2022 commencement exercises. Would you please stand for the presentation of colors and remain standing until the colors have been retired? Gentlemen, hats off, please. Tonight's color guard is being presented by Cibola High School's Marine Corps JROTC. The color guard and honor guard are under the direction of Captain Robert Collinsworth and Master Sergeant Pedro Chamorro. The color guard is being commanded by Cadet Second Lieutenant Megan Christofferson. The Marine Corps flag is being carried by Cadet Second Lieutenant Jasmine Meza. Cadet Gunnery Sergeant Odalise Zapian and Cadet Sergeant Rosalina Gutierrez are this evening's rifle bearers. Our national anthem will be sung by Cibola's concert choir. Gentlemen, hats on, please. Graduates and audience, please be seated. Thank you. And now, Cibola Concert Choir, under the direction of Mr. Ryan Hatch, will perform The Road Not Taken. It is my pleasure to introduce our honored guest this afternoon. From the Albuquerque Public Schools Board of Education, Board Vice President Peggy Mueller-Aragon. Associate Superintendent for Learning, Albuquerque Public Schools Zone 3, Amanda DeBell. Cibola High School's Administration, Pamela Meyer, Principal. Angela Reitman, Assistant Principal. Michael Zufall, Assistant Principal. Carmela Salazar, Dean of Students. Robert Faber, Dean of Students. Our Class of 2022 sponsors, Suzanne D'Avalon, Krista Fowler, and Emily Boyce. Senior Class Vice President, Ariana Alvarado. Senior Class President, Selena Ayala. Student Body Officers, Skylar Gaiman and Mercedes Morris. Student Body Secretary, Logan Smith. Student Body Vice President, Ty Christensen. Student Body President, Reed Comedina. Salutatorian, Alejandro Juarez. And Valedictorian for the Class of 2012, Bree Hawkins. And now for our first speech, I'd like to recognize our salutatorian, Alejandro Juarez.
Good afternoon. I'd like to start by welcoming families, friends, administration, staff, and of course, my fellow seniors to Cibola High School's Class of 2022 graduation ceremony. My name is Alejandro Wados, although you may know me as Hondo. I'm proud to stand before you today as this year's Salutatorian. 4 years ago, I set a goal for myself, to be number one in my graduating class. But as you can see, someone was a little bit better than me. Still, working toward my original goal did not come easy. I faced and persevered through many different obstacles, but with determination and with a lot of help and support from my peers, teachers, family, I was able to stay the course. None of this would have been possible without everyone that I met along the way during my 4 years at Cibola. To be honest, if there was one thing that I've learned from my experiences as a student, it'd be the relationships we form and the community we build with those around us forms a basis for success. The kindness and love shown to me through my 4 years in high school is what we all strive to receive throughout our life. Think about your favorite high school memory. Most of us would look back on times that we shared with others rather than experiences we had alone. The bonds we have created with one another is what I believe has made our senior class so strong. We have faced situations that have been life-changing, and the struggle to overcome this was nothing short of a monumental task. But we made it. We not only overcame each challenge we faced, but we also strived to be our best, no matter how daunting the task. This allowed for each of us to grow and become who we are today. We have each faced our own unique, yet impactful events throughout our 4 years of high school, and we have done our best to make the most of it. While we faced such uncertainty, I know a major factor in keeping myself steady through such turbulent times was because of the people that supported me and who always had faith in me to do my best. We all want people like this by our side, helping us be the best possible version of ourselves. But we also have to strive to be those kind of friends that give back to others and ultimately ensure we are bringing out the best in everyone around us. Giving our love and support to each relationship that we have formed is what we will look back on years from now. And we won't just remember the hardships we endured, but also the smiles and the good memories that we shared with one another. So may we all move forward to the next chapter of our lives, not just looking at how we strive to make a difference in our lives, but also in the world around us. Thank you, and congratulations, Class of 2022. We did it. Love you guys.
And now it is my pleasure to introduce the Valedictorian of the Class of 2022, Bree Hawkins.
Good afternoon, Cibola families, faculty, and the graduating class of 2022. My name is Bree Hawkins, and I am beyond grateful and honored to be the valedictorian for this year's senior class. Being asked to speak in front of one of the most resilient classes to graduate from Cibola today is a privilege. It would be a challenging task to come up here and not talk about the years of hardship we've had to face during our high school careers. We've had to face challenges that no one in this audience understood the severity of until we had to live through it. While these past 2 years have been nothing but demanding, this class has always taught me to look at things with the glass half full. We are the class that overcomes, the class that endures, and most importantly, we are the class that understands the importance of supporting each other. Whether that was during competitive class spirit checks, in breakout rooms over Google Meet, or so much as dealing with the loss of close friends and classmates, we have always found ways to comfort one another. The challenges we have faced in recent years may nearly be over, but that doesn't mean we won't still face trials in our everyday lives. As burnt out as we may feel now, learning doesn't stop here. Always seek out new opportunities and learn to listen to others with an open mind. One of the biggest issues we face today is how we don't listen to others' points of view. So be humble, because there's always something to learn or someone to learn from. We can never assume what others are thinking, feeling, or going through. So reach out to loved ones or those that may need a helping hand. You'll never know the positive impact you can make in someone's life just by offering your support or listening to what they have to say. But if you take anything from this speech today, remember this quote by Henry Ford: "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." So above all, believe in yourself, believe in your abilities, and know that you always have support from the people in this class. Be proud of yourselves, because you've had to overcome a lot to be here today. Good luck, class of 2022. I've really enjoyed the 2 years of in-person school with you, and I can't wait to see all of the things this class will achieve.
And now, your student body president, Reed Comedina.
Good afternoon, class of 2022. My name is Reed Comedina. I am blessed and humbled to have been able to represent the student body of Cibola High School as your student body president for the past year. Thank you to all the faculty, administrators, students, and families who are here today, and also all of those who have supported us on our journey here. I am so grateful that we were able to attend this graduation today in person. When we walked into Cibola as freshmen, I don't think that any of us predicted the high school experience that we have had and lived through. I believe that we have experienced one of the most interesting and challenging 4 years of any graduating class in the past decade. I would like to applaud everyone who has made it to this point today and have dedicated the past 4 years of their lives to reaching this point. Class of 2022, be proud of yourself and this moment. We have made it through so many unique trials and challenges that reaching this point is a great accomplishment. When I started to think about the class of 22, the first 2 words that came to my mind to describe our class were rowdy and reckless, of course. If you happen to witness any of our student sections at any sporting events, you would agree with the same exact thing, go Cougs. Although those 2 words may highlight certain moments we've had in the past 4 years, when I reflected on our overall high school experience, 2 better words came to mind. The class of 22 is best described by the words resilience and reactivate. Resilience is defined as the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. If there's anything that 22 has experienced, it's difficulty. It is safe to say we have not had the typical high school experience. We have dealt with a global pandemic, the loss of loved ones, inequality and division, and so many more unnamed challenges that have tested each and every one of us. As a class, we have banded together to support each other and other students at Cibola High School. Through these 4 years, we've had each other's backs. One example of this is the students and parents coming together during the pandemic, fighting for athletes' rights to play sports, and fighting for the right to have scholars study in school. In a time where it's easy to feel so isolated and alone, we found ways to have fun and make best of the cards we were dealt. We found many ways to come closer together, such as Dude Be Nice, prom coming, virtual assemblies, and live-streamed high school sports. I believe that our class has shown up to school, maybe not every day, but we made the best of things while we're there. Walking through the halls and sitting in class, or waking up from my bed and turning my computer on, I could always count on every single one of you to make my day just a little bit better. As a class, hardships continue to fall. We continually demonstrated by showing up together with smiles on our faces. One quote that stood out to me is from the late Mac Miller. No matter where life takes us, find us with a smile. This embodies our lighthearted and fun personalities, and I'm sure you saw from the slideshow we have some really great smiles in this class. Coming into this year, it was our responsibility to show all the other classes what high school really is. We know we had a big opportunity to reactivate Cibola, not only for ourselves, but for all the classes here at Cibola High School. Our yearbook this year was themed Reactivate. They obviously knew this was one of the roles of the class of 2022. To reactivate something is to bring it back into action. For a year and a half, the halls of our schools sat quiet. We all knew it was our job to bring Cougar Pride back to Cibola. Being the only class that has had a full year of high school under our belts, every class looked towards us. We showed all the other grades what Cougar Pride is all about. From showing up to sporting events, being leaders in clubs and classrooms, captains of athletic teams, to walking around in funky costumes for Spirit Weeks, each and every one of you were a part of keeping Cibola traditions and leading the rest of the school with spirit, but also with hard work, grit, and integrity. All of you showed up and showed out to make this year a great year for all of us, but also for all of the future generations to come through Cibola's halls. Thank you, class of 2022. Class of 22, the memories and experiences we have shared together, I will remember for the rest of my life. I'm so thankful for the opportunity to lead you this year. I would like to take a moment to thank all of our incredible teachers and staff here at Cibola High School. It hasn't always been easy to help motivate us to log into our Google Classrooms or to show up for class, but we're thankful for the effort you all have put into us. One leader that has had our back since we were freshmen and always kept our best interest in mind is Ms. Chavez. Ms. Chavez, we love you 3000. To all my fellow graduates, once again, congratulations, you made it. I am grateful for each of you. Take this reminder to keep on learning, trust in yourself and the journey, and always continue to grow and stay Cougar tough. In true Cibola fashion, and being the first graduating class this year in all of APS, let's start this off with one last chant as Cibola seniors. So I'd like to ask all of you guys to stand up and my fellow student body officers to come up onto the stage with me. So we've done this one a couple times. It's going to be a repeat after me. I said a yo, baby, yo, baby, yo, baby, yo. I said you gots to be a cougar or you gots to go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you, class of 22. Thank you for making my year great and every memory that's been made today. We did it, guys.
And now, my pleasure to present Cibola's principal, Pamela Meyer.
Good afternoon to our Cibola community. Every good adventure begins with a story, and this occasion is no different. Class of 22, for this story, we'll call this student 2022. Couldn't wait to start school on a bright and sunny day in August of 2004. 2022 was excited, uncertain, small, and full of hope and optimism. Over the years, 2022 encountered and navigated playground unspoken rules, long division, and the bumps and bruises of childhood. 2022 made alliances, some of whom are seated here today. Yes, 2022 tested life, and life tested back. 2022 tried to draw a straight line to graduation, and it sometimes zigged, and it sometimes zagged, and it circled, honing for signs, pointers, learning lessons along the way. Wow, being a kid was awesome and tough, 2022 thought and knew. The path led onward even so, and with coaches, teachers, nurses, librarians, counselors, administrators, your family, your friends, well, everyone. 2022's school confidence grew, faltered, and then grew stronger over time. 2022 climbed from one grade level to the next, and soon enough, 2022 really saw and really liked that girl or boy in the third row in middle school math class. 2022 self-expressed, maybe even in school uniform, by socially bumping along through the middle school hallways, shoulder-checking friends and strangers alike, high-fiving, fist-bumping, pushing, handshaking, middle school. And 2022 thought they were so cool until one day in high school, they looked back at the middle school yearbook picture and uttered one word to their high school selves, whoa. And just like that, well, at least to the parents, 2022 arrived at Cibola High School, 2018. 2022 was once again invigorated, ready to tackle the last 4 years of the 13-year journey. In some ways, 2022 wasn't sure that the last 4 years would be the best years either. Everyone told 2022 that high school was the best years of school life. But 2022 felt a little like they were in kindergarten again in some ways. 2022 knew school would be challenging, but by now, 2022 knew that life was even more challenging, especially when 2022 looked out the world window and saw a monster pandemic coming and then going. Witness pushes, no, demands for equity, fairness, and social justice. Learned to use your unique voice and were rewarded for it. Scaled social media hurdles, and back at Cibola, quadratic equations, theorems, and remote learning and alternative experiences. Often with friends, 2022 laughed and laughed, and there were plenty of good times. And 2022's memories largely became the playbook not fully realized in the yearbook. And 2022 learned that nothing can be taken for granted. Having confidence, bouncing back, not falling down for long, learning to pivot, be agile, patient, and technological, and accept quarantines, masks all day at school, social distancing. I mean, wow, all that had to make you stronger. And so it goes. Can you believe it? It's graduation day today. All those milestones, detours, stumbling blocks, and even easy streets sometimes, led the class of 2022 forward. The path was very different, very unique, compared with the classes before 2019. You all emerged more thankful, satisfied, amazed, victorious. Indeed, the class of 2022 is a class unto itself. You are more powerful, influential, more mature, maybe wiser, and you've proven to be trailblazers. Muhammad Ali once said, "I claimed I was the greatest before I was the greatest." Now that's the spirit, and that wisdom speaks to all of you. Class of 2022, you have navigated learning from your couch to learning from classrooms and more. You are no longer the little ones teetering on the threshold of kindergarten classroom. You're stepping out into the world. Truly, the class of 2022, collectively and individually, is a force to be reckoned with. Congratulations, Cougs! Albuquerque Public Schools Board Vice President Peggy Mueller-Aragon and Associate Superintendent Amanda DeBell, the graduates before you have met the graduation requirements set forth by the Albuquerque Public Schools Board of Education, along with the New Mexico Public Education Department. To you, I present the class of 2022.
On behalf of the Albuquerque Public Schools Board of Education, I, Peggy Mueller-Aragon, accept the 2022 graduating class of Cibola High School. Congratulations to all of you, and you are Cougars. You are never going to be silent. I know you will continue to stand up for what is right and true and beautiful. Congratulations, Cougs. Go Cougars!
And now I would like to recognize Craig Garcia, Spanish teacher, and Jeff Jones, social studies teacher, to announce the names of our graduates.
Robert Stiles III. Zoe Abaquita. Emily Aguilar. Alexander Aguirre. Kayana Alexander. Tanner Ali. Aiden Alvarado. Aaliyah Alvarado. Kais Amer. Sydney Amin. Alexis Anguiano. Diego Apodaca. Julian Apodaca. Luke Apodaca. Dominic Aragon. Emily Aragon. Isaac Aragon. Austin Arbuckle. Derek Archuleta. Shayana Arellano. Michael Armijo Bales. Brady Arrhenius. Viviana Arvilla. Brandon Assey. Elena Avila. Mateo Avila. Elias Baca. Isabella Baca. Marisa Baca. Kennedy Baker. Kyle Barnes. Dylan Barney. Judah Barney. Austin Barrera. Laurel Berry. Brooke Bassford. Tristan Bates. Sydney Bathurst. Ashlyn Battle. Juliana Beckman. Ethan Begay. Liliana Beltran. Aiden Bennett. Mariah Blanco. Michaela Booker. Kaylin Bourgeois. Elisa Brantley. Jordan Braden. Joseph Brotherton. Cadence Bruner. Lila Buranda. Patrick Burns. James Bustos. Timothy Byard.
Kiara Cadet. Alex Campanazzi. Nicholas Campbell. Aurora Carlin Bracken. Abigail Carlson. Jeremiah Calladito. Caitlin Chafee. Kalea Chapman. Andres Chavez. Ian Chino. Elliot Clausen. Justin Clifford. Ryan Cook. Dennis Christie III. Ashley Kuhn. Shani Cordero. Marcos Cordova. Miguel Cordova. Trinity Cordova. Cameron Corries. Micah Cortez. Kiara Cortez. Carol Crease. Ryan Crutchfield. Alexis Davey. Jasreet Talon. Chloe Dinnerstein. Emily Dominguez. Nayeli Dominguez. Marcos Duran. Aaron Daya. Anthony Daya. Darius Easton. Citlali Gisela Enriquez. Emily Ezel. Theosis Fallon. Evan Ferguson. Alex Fernandez. Layla Farrell. Piper Fishburne. Matthew Fitzgerald. Dakota Freshour. Taylor Fry. Nevea Funes.
Aiden Gallegos. Melody Gallegos. Jesus Garay. Abigail Garcia. Anthony Garcia. Ella Garcia. Ivy Rose Garcia. Ryan Garcia. Tristan Garcia. Alyssa Garcia Palma. Malcolm Garduno. Brianna Gatewood. Seth Gatewood. Elijah Gomez. De Rosario Gomez. Nicholas Gomez. Elijah Gonzalez. Jasmine Gonzalez. Justin Gonzalez. Caden Gonzalez. Presley Duran Gonzalez. Isabella Gonzalez. Parker Gossett. Celines Grajeda Guzman. Jesus Granado. Aiden Greg Kriegel. Aubrey Gregory. Isabella Griego. Gabriela Guillen. Isabella Gurule. Maya Gurule. Asta Gurun. Isaac Gustamantes. Alyssa Gutierrez. Mariah Gutierrez. Hannah Ham. David Hansen. Jamin Harlan. Elizabeth Harrison. Taylor Hedrick. Brenda Hernandez. Isabella Hernandez. Macio Hernandez. Amaya Herrera. Spencer Hicks. Annalisa Olguin. Isaac Holling. Gavin Hoover. Evan House. Dylan Humphreys. Kayla Eisen.
Cassandra Jaramillo. Orlando Jaramillo. Anastasia Hadaki. Zachary John. Elijah Johns. AJ Johnson. Haley Johnson. James Johnson. Brenda Jones. Riker Jones. Kylie Kelly. Matthew Kellogg. Michael Knight. James Creechy. Natasha Kwiatkowski. Dylan Labastida. Ediana Lamb. Darian Larcade. Emily Larcade. Megan Lawrence. Anelika Large. Selena Large. Nikaela Lanyaga. Haley Leslie. Alyssa Leba. Sabdi Leva. Cody Liberidian. Raiden Little. Ashley Lockie. Aliania Lona. Dominic Lon Jose. Joshua Loomis Varela. Mireille Lopez. Natalia Lopez. Nathan Lopez. Robert Lopez. Ryan Lopez. Soleil Lopez. Elise Lovato. Isaiah Lovato. Adrian Lucero. Alyssa Lucero. Jaden Lucero. Justin Lucero. Caleb Lucero. Mario Lucero. Sophia Luna. Tyler Lyons.
Aaron Madrid. Lily Mandel. Sara Mangia Capra. Alyssa Marcotte. Xander Mares. Alina Martinez. Anthony Martinez. Gabriela Martinez. Isabella Martinez. Angeline Marvin. Tanasia McNeil. Cassandra Medina. Ryan Medina. Tristan Meek. Jade Melick. Jason Mendoza. Joseph Mendoza. Riley Midget. Michael Miller. Carlos Miranda Ortiz. Josiah Molina. Catherine Mondragon. Janelle Montaño. Dominic Montoya. Edgar Montoya. Isabella Montoya. Catarina Montoya. Reina Morales. Aurora Moreland Ward. Cole Maroney. Daniel Morris. Nathan Nahar. Payson Neal. Derek Negron. Pauline Nelson. Maricris Nepomuceno. Luke Newcomb. Joshua No. Noah Nielsen. Cameron Nix. Noah Congolo. Asia Norberto. Lorenzo Nota. Alec Obledo. Diana Olivas Treviso. Aaron Ortiz. Jeremiah Ortiz. Liliana Otero. Darian Overman, Naya Owens, Aiden Parsonis, Maggie Pearson, Zachary Pena, Jamian Perea, Oscar Perea, Donovan Perez, Marco Perez, Ann Pham, Nakayo Pine, Alexandra Pineda, Isaac Pitts, Alan Platero, Ivan Portillo, Luisa Prado, Robert Puentes,
Juliana Rayton. Endelacio Ramirez. Andre Ramos. Samantha Ramos. Sage Rankin. Cadence Ray. William Rice. Jordan Rivera. Archie Robb. Cadence Robinson. Carlos Romero. Isaac Romero. Isabella Romero. Isabel Rosales. Abby Roughton. Charlize Rojas. Ryan Rutland. Madeline Saavedra. Ailani Saiz. Marissa Saiz. McKenna Salmon. Tomas Salas. Mariah Salazar Brown. Jade Salcido. Isaac Sanchez. Jeremiah Sanchez. Rebecca Sanchez. Brandon Sanchez Orozco. Coda Sant. Adam Saucier. Riley Schmidt. Anani Shomor. Christopher Schulte. Nicolette Schulte. Kyle Sacade. Avery Silfer. Janae Cisneros. Madeline Cisneros. Angelina Smith. Ryan Smith. Dalton Snell. Tyler Spencer. Stephen Stickney. Tanner Stricker. Tyler Swan. Taislin Sykes. Riley Tafoya.
Andres Tapia, Paris Taylor Escareno, Brandy Teller, Tristan Thibodeau, Kylene Thomas, Kylie Thurman, Landon Torricini, Liseidi Torres, Xavier Torres, Jasper Tutchin, Henry Tran, Adam Trujillo, Coral Trujillo, Alexander Turner, Evan Turner, Diego Uriarte, Alexa Valdez, Daniel Valdez, Sharisa Vallejos, Aaron Valiant, Paris Vayo, Bryant Van Slyke, Jonah Vaquera, Emma Varela, Joaquin Vargas, Savannah Vargas, Michaela Velasquez, Mariah Verdeja, Alyssa Vigil, Elizabeth Wagner, Rachel Ward, Benjamin Webster, Cole Welch, Tommy White, Corinne Witzel, Jace Whittington, Anaisa Williams, Tyon Williams, Zachary Williamson, Keisha Winchell, Cody Witkowski, Miles Woodruff, Holden Yazi, Adriana Inostroza,
And now your honored graduates. Alejandro Wados. Bree Hawkins. Ariana Alvarado. Selena Ayala. Mercedes Morris. Skylar Gaiman. Logan Smith. Ty Christensen. And Reed Comedina.
Ladies and gentlemen, our senior class president, Selena Ayala.
Hello, class of 2022, family, friends, and staff. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Selena Ayala, and I have held the honor of serving as your class president for the last 2 years. My fellow classmates, let's take a moment to thank those around us, our parents, teachers, counselors, coaches, family, and friends. Thank you all for your support. Thank you for your wisdom and guidance, and most of all, thank you for the motivation you have given us to get through these difficult years. There is one other person that we owe thanks to, perhaps the most important of all. Class of 2022, thank yourselves. What you have done over the course of these last 4 years has made possible because of you. We would be lying to ourselves if we didn't recognize that the past 2 years are very hard on us due to COVID. We were forced to live in a world of uncertainty and trial. What came to be seen as a normal life was stripped from us in the height of what we'd grown to be the greatest moments of our lives. We have collectively dealt with loss, disappointment, and adversity. We have experienced loss of family, friends, jobs, and within all of this, the loss of our teen years. So many of us came to expect our lives to change by the end of high school, but little did we know they were changing so quickly right before our very eyes. To everyone sitting here today, I just want to tell you how deeply proud of you I am. Our 4 years weren't as easy as the classes before us, and while we were given so many opportunities to lose hope, you still prevailed. Despite quarantines, despite face masks, despite the trials that stared us in the eyes, you are sitting here. We are the definition of resilience, and we came back stronger than we left, ready to live out our remaining high school years to the fullest extent. I could go on and on forever about how we thought we were robbed of these years, but I feel like it's better to look at our cup half full. We had a senior graduation, homecoming, and a prom. We are here together in this moment, sharing this incredible experience together, where we get to walk across the stage at Tingley Coliseum for all of our friends and family to see. We began high school experience with hopes that it would create some of the best moments of our lives, but what I've come to learn about hope is that it actually inspires us to cherish the positive things instead of the obstacles that stood in our way. It's the positive in lives that keep us moving forward, and the biggest positive today is that we are here and healthy to grab our diplomas. If these past few years have taught me anything, it's that we have to live our lives to the fullest extent because tomorrow isn't promised. One inspirational quote I found to help me through COVID was from one of our generation's most influential people, Mr. Worldwide. The quote follows, "Every day above ground is a great day, remember that. And friends, today is a great day, and here's to many more. Thank you guys for making Cibola such a memorable place and creating memories I will cherish for the rest of my life." If you guys want to record yourselves moving your tassels, now's the time to get out your phones. I'll wait. Okay, are we ready? Okay. Now, just like Beyonce says, you're going to move your tassels from the right to the left to the left. Congratulations, class of 2022. Let's set the world on fire.
Thank you for attending our ceremony. Please allow all seniors to leave the floor and leave the Coliseum. You'll be able to meet and greet our graduates at the Creative Arts parking lot just to the southwest of the doors you entered earlier. To the graduates, I will always remember the class of 22 as the group that brought spirit back to Cibola High School. Now get out there and show the world what you've got. Be kind, do good, and stay a little wild. I love your guts, 22. Graduates, please stand. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's have one more round of applause for the class of 2022.
Amen.